Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. So we're going to begin here with a little bit of XRP news. There's chapters in the video down below. You see that video line? There's little dashes in it. Those are chapters. Each one is a different topic. And if you like any part of this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you click that little like button down below. I would humbly ask you to do that, and I thank you in advance. Now, we have an article here, and it's titled XRP, this is from zcrypto.com, XRP primed for bullish eruption as Ripple's Garlinghouse believes truth will come to the light. I think there's a lot of truth that's going to come to the light, whether through this case or otherwise, because the world is changing and rebellion is in the air. Well, there's rebellion and revolution happening all around the world. You think that that's not, that fire isn't building up in the Western spirit as well? Oh, there's been Western rebellion also. It's just the West is very good at keeping a lot of things off the news. But what that does, the aspect of that that's important is when there's rebellion in the air, a lot of information that wouldn't otherwise have been put out starts coming out. A lot of things get exposed. Now, when it comes to corrupt government regulators, and this is just my humble opinion, and this is just alleged because certain entities did say that the SEC or Bill Hinman, when he was the head of the SEC, was warned that certain activities could possibly be illegal that that person was participating in. That's corruption. That's corruption. Then you look at the different connections that that individual had with other blockchains. You know, that there's a difference between lobbying and being paid off. Now, what's been going on a lot, and you saw this with certain exchanges, when they're putting out that big money, it's not so much lobbying. It's like they're paying people off, just allegedly, and it's just my humble opinion. That's corruption. You have to be fair. But I think a lot of things are going to get exposed. But yes, listen, there's so many catalysts for XRP to explode. Of course, we're going to be anticipating. I think most logical people are anticipating at some point an explosion, the likes of which people haven't seen in a long time. A consistent. Theoretically speaking, because of all the value that can move through XRP, there should be a consistent rise in that price. And never forget, when XRP goes up, XLM goes up. And that's even without the catalyst, historically speaking. I mean, things can change. Change is the only constant. But we've seen it before, right? So, and another thing I want to say, keep your eye, those peepers, keep your peepers. I know, I got some good eyeballs right there. I mean, you're like, well, there's some healthy eyeballs. I know my eyeballs are strong, just like everything is strong. Yeah, I know, everything is strong. Keep your peepers on the US dollar. Listen. So many people don't do this. And this is easy. This is an easy way to know when the market can go up. It's not that it is, when it can go up. I've been saying this for almost a year. You know, we've done a little Forex on this channel. We cover a little Forex news. We cover the gold news. And all of that is in correlation with the strength of the dollar. When the dollar is weak, everything goes up. When the dollar is strong, it crushes everything. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Stay on top of the dollar news. It's just one mechanism, but it can be an indicator of where everything can go. Now, over the years, the reason I'm saying that is over the years, these next coming years, there's a great chance the dollar may get weaker. It's been pretty strong. It has had its dips, but it's poised for a massive dip at some point. I don't know when, but at some point. That's why I'm saying stay on top of the catalyst. If that dollar becomes weak, everything else can fly. These last few times where you've seen things go green, typically the dollar is weak and everything else, gold goes up, Bitcoin goes up, everything has the chance to go up and thrive. The dollar is such a oppressive thing. It crushes everything. Keep your eye on the dollar. The BRICS nations are ensuring that the dollar is going to have some problems. Listen, so what I'm saying is you have to be willing to take advantage of everything that's being provided to you. Make everything work for you. There's no negatives. Make everything work for you. There's always a way. There's always a way. Whether things go up, I'm winning. When things go down, I'm winning. You have to know how to make it work. Everything has a natural inflow and outflow. You have to know how to go with the flow and make things move. for you. It's like life is this weird, beautiful dance. It's like what Master Bruce said, Bruce Lee, right? And he said, when my opponent expand, I contract. And when my opponent contracts, I expand. I don't hit. I don't hit. It hits all by itself. That's what I need. I need people to have that warrior mentality, that balance, achieving the balance. You exist on almost a completely different level. Use the balance to your advantage. Make everything a win for you, and move strategically and meticulously. So yes, I think most people see the explosion coming. That's logical. You have hundreds of banks signed up. You think that there's no way that's going to be little money. That's impossible. United States, let's negate the United States. The rest of the world still will thrive and feast upon XRP and XLM and Algorand. They already are. That's a fact. They already are. We did the video yesterday. We covered on Algorand 31 financial institutions. 31. A lot of those are banks. That's a lot of money. 31. All in one place. Italy. Can you imagine when everywhere around the world also decide to flip the switch on Algorand? That's just an example. So, balance, watch the dollar, right? Stay on top of the catalyst. Of course, we're bullish because we understand that there's partnerships already set up. That's what's important. That's what's important. That's what's going to bring in that consistent volume and value. That's logical. So now let's continue on to this next article here. Just my humble opinion. It's not financial advice. It says here, XRP continues to attract investors who are ready to spend. All the bank coins have been doing that. All the bank coins. Then you see that article was a couple of weeks, I think it was a couple of weeks back, where somebody bought a massive amount of XLM. You think that's right? It was either before, I think it was right before Davos. You think that's a mistake? You see everybody getting in deep with Algorand, setting up, they're building to use it. The utility is so important because you want that protocol in flow. You want value flowing through it. That's what makes the price go up. So how could utility not be important? Utility is the most important part if you're talking about consistent money into the future. If we're talking big money with very minimal risk, that's another good aspect of it. A lot of other projects, sure, they're going to get some value, but they're very risky, right? We're talking about technologies that into the future. This is why people say generational wealth. It can continue to make you money. Right? And it's not risky where you can scrape some off the top and you don't mind having an allotment sitting there and holding it, because the banks and those different institutions that have to consistently use it because of utility, they will stabilize that price. The hope is that, and I think it would be logical that these bank coins at some point, because of so many governmental entities and banks, will become very high priced, stable coins. They will be stabilized. Only without a peg. That's beautiful, by the way. That means it can continue to go up. You don't want a peg. You don't want it pegged to something. Oh, peg to $1, peg to 0.88 ounces of gold. No, because then there's a cap on it. Why would I want a cap on something that has no limitation? If it has no limitation, all we need is to be stabilized, but it can continuously stabilize. It could be stabilized here at $20. Then it could be stabilized at 30 for a while. Remember, these institutions feel they have nothing but time, and they've been around for a long time. So their uses are consistent. And so over time, yeah, sure, it could be stabilized for a while here at 20, then at 30, then at 50, then 60, then 100. That's definitely possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm trying to be reasonable here. But I'm saying the possibility is there because of how much the protocol will be used. XRP is going to be in constant flow. And they need agnostic bridge currencies and interoperability like you wouldn't believe. I mean, they're pathetic at this point, the legacy system. Absolutely pathetic. They need it. This is why you have the Bank of International Settlements and then the little weak leaders of the World Economic Forum crying out, we need interoperability. We need the distributed ledger technologies. That's why they literally need it. They tried to play catch up. They failed. They failed. So that puts us in a very good position. To my humble opinion, why do you think they're just devouring the technologies all over the world? Latin America, they're rapidly building on the bank coins. Africa, they're rapidly building on the bank coins. Why do you think that is? They need it. This world is on fire. All their systems are on fire. And this is the water that can put it out. I told you that before. The wise have eyes to see. Now, when is everything going to happen? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I'm not in charge of the banks. I can't tell the banks, hey, banks, I wish I could. Hey, banks, use it right now. I tell them to use it today. But I can't. So we have to wait and stay on top of the catalyst. See what they're, even though they lie a lot, they do lie. But we can sift through the nonsense. And we're wise enough to know, okay, if this one over here says this, we use multiple sources to corroborate what may be true and make our own decisions. That's why research is important. Okay, this bank is saying this bank is saying that, the government is over here saying this, and the rest of the world is doing that. So now we can put the pieces together and come up with our own idea of what's going to be happening. That's how I look at it. So now this article here is titled XRP continues to attract investors. I think a lot of what you're going to be seeing is just a lot of people who sold everything coming back in. A lot of people sold everything. XRP, XLM, they left the market. They had lives to worry about. They had children and different things to worry about, their businesses. They had no time to play in a bloody market and take chance with that capital. I understand that completely. But now that everything is going green, who knows how long that's going to last? I don't proclaim to know that. But they feel like now they can play. And a lot of them have been taking good profits, not really with the bank coins, but with the rest of crypto. You've seen the volatility. They've been taking some good profits. So people are coming back in to play. It's playtime for now. So I think that's a lot of what you're going to see. There's a lot of people who still believed, but they just weren't in the market. So now that the market's going green, they believe again, and now they want to play a little bit. That's how I look at that. So now let's continue on here. All right, we got a little Algorand news. This tweet goes as such. Hey, Algo fam, interested in learning more about the 100 million healthcare NFTs that MA Pay Corp will launch on Algorand. Every little bit matters. Every little bit counts. What's important here when it comes to Algorand for me is that they have been getting in deep in the medical industry for quite some time now. This is going to be key. Listen, I keep my ear very close to the medical industry. They are in big trouble in the medical industry. They need to congeal all their data together, all their charts together. The patients also need to have access to that information instantaneously. They want to go to this doctor, this network, that network. All this fracturing is going to be congealed together. This is what they're looking for, and only we can do it. And Algorand has been positioning itself to be that gel that brings everything together, that glue that brings everything together. Not just Algorand directly, but even offerings on Algorand, different offerings. Like I said, there's a lot of entities building on Algorand, and they've been doing a fantastic job. This is just one more way. Healthcare NFTs. Listen, we're going to be doing a lot more than that. There's going to be payroll rolling across Algorand. Mark my words, just my humble opinion, but I've seen it before. I've seen them try this before, right? You look at El Salvador. They were going to be doing payroll. Everything that runs in El Salvador, when you're talking about Bitcoin, is running over Algorand. Remember that, right? And they were going to do payroll. That means if they did the payroll, that would be rolling across Algorand. So there's, and we've seen other offerings like Ripple trying to do payroll over the distributed ledger technologies. I welcome it. I want paychecks moving across these blockchains. There's a higher value, obviously, and it's consistent volume. Every week, every 2 weeks, people are getting paid. Of course, that's going to affect the price of those protocol. Of course, the protocol will operate behind the scenes. The people don't need to know about it. But it would definitely go up. It's a mechanism. It's a part of the engine of the DLTs, right? So Algorand getting deep in the medical industry. There's hundreds of millions of dollars, even, and I'm starting with that. Okay? Because I believe that it will go into the billions, but let's start with hundreds of millions, okay? I'm trying to be very reasonable here. I don't have to, but I'm trying to be, because I see where this is going. Algorand has been dominating in the medical industry. Those who've been here for a while know this. We've covered this many, many times. I don't always put Algorand and XLM in the headlines, but every video I try to cover them, at least as much as I can. And we've covered this for quite some time. I love to see this. Algorand continues to dominate. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to go a little further. I think they're going to do better than most people are anticipating. I really do. Firmly, I do. I see the vision. They're dominating when it comes to the banks, right? We talked about that in the last video. If you didn't see that last video, give it a check. Give it a watch. Banks, they're dominating when it comes to NFTs. They're one of the best. In my humble opinion, they're the best. They're dominating when it comes to NFTs. They're dominating when it comes to gaming. They're dominating when it comes to music. And like I said, people are not talking about this aspect enough. They're dominating when it comes to serious, critical industries like the medical industry, like healthcare. My humble opinion, but Algorand keep doing a good job. So now let's move on to this next little bit here. A little more about Algorand to show you the sheer dominance of Algorand and why I personally believe that algo price is going to go high. Here's another thing. If you lived through the last bull run, the last real bull run, when we started talking about Algorand, it was at a low and people were telling me Algorand was trash. Remember those days, right? But we stayed on top of the catalyst. We knew it was going to explode. It exploded multiple times. Multiple. Boom, 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 boom. Go check the historical charts of Algorand. Check the all-time high. Check the explosions. You can see it on the charts. You can see it with your own eyes. So it goes parabolic quite easily because for a bank coin, its circulating supply is not bad at all. At all. For what it's trying to do and as many different aspects that it is expanding to, not bad at all. It goes parabolic very easily. That was before. That was then when we didn't have anywhere near as many partnerships. We have experienced what I tell you. What did I tell you? We have been experiencing the Stacey Wharton effect. The people who lead your blockchain, whether it's your incorporated or it's your foundation, it's important because their name rings bells. Their name is going to bring in partnerships. They're respected. You walk into a room, some of these people walk into a room, everybody knows who they are already, and they're just respected. And they say to themselves, yeah, this person here I can make money with. This person here I can do good business with. I'm going to use this to my advantage. And so it's more easy to make partnerships. We have seen this since that time. So now if it went parabolic that easily back then, oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Imagine now that we have like hundreds of partnerships, we're massively superior to in position to where we were before. Imagine what it's going to do in the next real bull run. Imagine that. Hey, you can do what you want. It's not financial advice. It doesn't matter to me at all whether you buy XRP, Algorand, XLM. I don't care about that at all. I'm here for that institutional money. I've had a taste of it and I want more. And I'm going to have more. I'm going to have that bank money. I'm going to have that big institutional money. So it doesn't matter to me whether you buy or sell. I'm just sharing my humble opinion as a researcher and a little bit of what I find. That's it. Make your own mind. Make up your own mind. Okay. So, but it says here, this is on ibfnet.medium.com and it goes as such. IBFnet launches metaverse amidst high growth forecast. IBFnet has launched Netverse, the world's first metaverse on the Algorand blockchain. So we need to keep our eye on this, which is also the world's first Sharia compliant. I told you before that, oh my goodness, people are not seeing it. Algorand is deep in the MENA region. The commodities there, insane. Oil. The banks are doing well in that region. The banks aren't doing well everywhere, but in that region, they're doing well. And Algorand, we discussed something about 2-3 weeks ago, offering that was Sharia compliant. That's important. That's very important in that region. Algorand is in the door. Anyway, let's continue to read. People aren't seeing it. When it comes to the tokenization of everything, I think Algorand is in the front seat. Algorand and Ripple are in the front seat when it comes to the tokenization of everything, at least right now. They're the two that are out front, in my humble opinion. It says here, Sharia compliant metaverse on any blockchain. Netverse is expected to be a major contributor to the digitalization move in the Islamic world. People don't see what's coming, and Algorand is slowly taking over. They're dominating. How many industries that I list before? Gaming, music, banking, and they're doing it all well. You see stability in what's happening. They're doing it all at a high level. Says the digital economy is estimated to be around 20 to 25% of the global economy, and this share is expected to grow steadily. It is. Listen, and I'll say this, I never thought that metaverse stuff was going to move so fast. And I know they don't report on this. I don't believe in the mainstream very often. There's a lot of companies that are trying to force their workers to work in the metaverse. Now, the workers have been complaining about it. You can look this up and read the articles yourself. Actually, you don't have to just take my word for it, but I'm just telling you. Because I was shocked. I said, "Ooh, they have people working in the metaverse already?" And then the workers are complaining about, to clock in, they have to go on their cell phone. So then they got to take off the headset, the VR headsets, and the discomfort of doing such things all the time, and there was. So anyway, they actually are doing this already. Then you see the banks. Some banks don't have their workers in the bank anymore. You can only interact through a digital screen. That's it. Right? So, and then you've heard the reports. We read a couple of articles where the banks confirmed what I was saying not last year, sorry about that, in 2021 at the end of it. And I said the banks will be in the metaverse. I told you they're going to save money by having a non-physical representation. And they can still have their workers work from home. They're going to save tons of money. And they have been doing that already. Like they not have been doing it, but they have been pushing it, the idea of it massively. So they confirmed in their own writings, their own documents, I showed you, they confirmed that they're going to be pushing for that. And they're going to be shutting down a lot of physical branches. Algorand's at the forefront when it comes to, so now they have a metaverse offering. They're dominating in so many different ways. But anyway, let's continue on here. Sorry, my thoughts are like, I think in like pieces. I'm like piecing together a puzzle in my head. According to experts, the emerging Web 3.0 technologies on the one hand, and the observed and ever-growing preference for the millennials to interact and transact in the digital and virtual space have contributed to this scenario. The trends are observed in several Islamic nations as well that consider the development of a halal ecosystem as a policy imperative. IBF Net's Netverse expects to capitalize on this emerging scenario. Do it. Do it. I want to see more of this. I'm very happy with everything happening on Algorand. All right, so now let's move on to another article here. I could talk about that longer, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. Now, this is from stellar.org. And it's very interesting. Stellar. Oh, you sneaky Stellar. But I like what you're doing. Keep doing good. You've been roaring like a lion and moving like a juggernaut early in this year. OK, I mean, it's still early and I want to see more of it. This is positioning, everyone, strategic positioning over the long term. This is a long game. You don't change a financial system overnight. But something like this. It says, why doesn't Soroban use JIT? This is from Tomer Weller, and Tomer Weller explains that whatever it is that they use, it says WASM is what they use. It's more secure than JIT. They need high security if you're working with smart contracts, especially because of who they're working with. They just said they're going to be working with United Nations. That's only going to spread. That means they're going to be working with a lot of governments around the world as aid is dispersed. So that's number one. The government's already let it be known widely that they're going to want programmability. That means you have to have secure, smart contracts. All right. So with this other offering, whatever this is, JIT or other mechanism, Mr. Weller was explaining that a lot of the coding that is done for smart contracts is like public coding or is done by certain people, and that could be very risky, whereas WASM is not risky. I want as much security as possible. When things are up and running, I don't want any problems at all. Do you? Of course not. We want that money to flow smoothly. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Maybe some people are here to save the world. We all try to make the world better in our own ways, right? But when we're talking about Stellar, XRP, Algorand, Quant, I'm talking money. I'm here about that money. And I'll take that money if I want to help the world. I'll do it in my own way somewhere privately, right? So that's what I think. So I'm always going to think money wise. Let that money flow. And XLM's price goes up because it's supposed to provide liquidity. So we want security for the banks so the banks can use it. And then we can take that bank money. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. So I like hearing this. I like the clarification here as to why one was used and not the other. You know why? Because competition, which comes from the legacy system, not the other bank coins, but the legacy system, they're very sneaky. I've seen this before. They'll go into meetings and say, listen, you should use our legacy system offering and not the blockchain offering because they use this here and it's inferior. And what Weller is doing is cutting that off at the pass, saying, listen, I'm putting it out there that the WASM is superior to the JIT because JIT, he's saying here under security issues, smart contract platforms run unvetted third-party code, contracts uploaded by users. So that's what I was trying to iterate before. Then it says here, that is dangerous to begin with, but JITs make it a whole lot more dangerous in two ways. Talk to him, Weller, talk to him. It says first, due to the fact that a JIT is emitting native code, it is a much larger code base, which is doing significantly more error-prone work, and bugs in its implementation are significantly more likely to be critical. So Weller just dropped the weight on their head saying, hey, listen, what we chose was a superior mechanism. And that's what I want to hear. Keep doing good, Stellar. Keep going forward, powering forward. I think I see the vision. And, you know, we'll stay on top of the catalyst and see where everything goes. I believe that there's a very bright future ahead. So now let's continue on here. So then we have this article here on Cointelegraph and it's titled, ECB Executive Board Member Outlines Plans for Digital Euro to European Parliament. Now listen, they've changed their plans so many times. There's no reason at this point to believe that anything that they say they're actually going to stick with. All of these central banks have been very flip-floppy. The Fed, the European Central Bank, they've been flip-floppy. One minute they love an idea, the next minute they hate it. One minute they love DLTs, the next minute they hate it. So, you know, you just have to stay on top of the information, the news, and adjust accordingly. And understand that there's nothing solid with these individuals as far as what we have seen, going by what we've seen in reality, not by what they're saying. But let's continue on here. ECB board member Fabio Panetta affirms that ECB's digital euro privacy policy and says the digital currency will never be programmable. Never is a strong word, sir. When the Bank of International Settlements, which is superior to your European Central Bank, by the way, has said that the banks want programmability. So now you're saying that the banks don't want programmability? You see here, that's confusing. The Bank of International Settlements also has been calling for everybody to get on one page, and it doesn't seem like you want to do that. I'm starting to believe that the ECB is in conflict with the BIS, but the BIS is the bank of all banks for a reason. I mean, it's up to you, but then again, let me think about it in another way. So that's one possibility, but the other possibility is once with stable coins. Remember, a lot of these central banks have spoken about, mostly the Fed did in a certain document that we covered on the channel. The Fed said that with stable coins could have a layer of programmability, but that the banks could conscript and use stable coins somewhat like a light version of a CBDC, because that's what stable coins really are. They're a light version of a CBDC, but you can add programmability, but they do want programmability. Now, maybe not with something that's retail. Let's do another third option. Sorry about that. Maybe not with retail. But let's say with wholesale, if we're talking about wholesale CBDCs, there's no way in the world this person's going to tell me they don't want programmability. No way. There's no way. But let's read this little tidbit here. It says the digital euro, should it come into existence, will preserve the role of the central bank by extending payment options beyond those offered by cash. European Central Bank Executive Board member Fabio Panetta told a European Parliament committee. Panetta expressed satisfaction with the progress of research on a potential digital euro. He told the European Parliament Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee, The ECB is at the global forefront of the efforts by central banks to design state-of-the-art digital payment solutions. That's not true. Why would you say that, sir? You lied. That's not true. In my humble opinion, you lied, sir. The Bank of International Settlements is at the forefront of designing state-of-the-art digital payment solutions, not the ECB. The ECB had been flip-floppy. One minute you hate DLTs, next minute you love them. You hate crypto outright, right? But then you try to use the bank coins and such. You try to use bank coin technology. You're so confused. The Bank of International Settlements has not been confused, in my humble opinion, and we've covered up so many documents. We know them the best. And they have supported the relationship between the fintechs, the non-banking financial institutions, as well as the legacy system, banking system. They have made the biggest push for the new financial system. Not you. That's a lie. But let's continue on here. Access to the digital euro would initially be open. Go stand in the corner, sir. Go stand in the corner, Mr. Panetta. I'm talking while I'm talking. Go stand in I have to do something fun. Go stand in the corner, sir. Anyway, access to the digital euro would initially be open. Somebody out there thought I was talking to them. They turned around and looked at the corner. I'm just kidding around, everyone. Access to the digital euro would initially be open to consumers, businesses, and governments within Eurozone. Okay, so can you please see, why are they so quiet? You're so quiet on wholesale CBDC. Why is that? Why is that? Is it because you? Is it because you love XRP? You've sat down in a whole bunch of meetings with Ripple over there at the ECB. Right. Okay. But why are you not discussing our wholesale? Wholesale is the more crucial element. You're keeping quiet on that, but you openly talk about retail a lot. The retail CBDC. Don't worry, we'll take that money also. We'll take the money also. Algorand's deep in Europe. Ripple and Quant are on the Digital Euro Association. So I'm not worried about it at all. We're going to get that bank money one way or the other. We're coming for it. We're already here for it. But I just noticed that you don't talk about the wholesale CBDC a lot, and you're going to need one. You know it. You and I both know you're going to need it, especially now that you may be forced to back your currencies with a commodity like gold or silver or something like that. You're probably going to go with gold because you people are traditionalists in these legacy systems. So you'll probably go with gold, right? But you're going to need to track that gold, where it is, what's going on. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be using the value outright, just like everyone else is who's holding some gold. And not only that, a lot of your members are going to want to make money off the gold price skyrocketing when that does occur. If that does occur, looks like the world is moving to commodity-backed currencies. So you're going to need traceability for all of those reasons. But now, let's continue on here. Access to, okay, so individuals and businesses in the European Economic Area, and finally to selected third-party countries. Selected, right? See, and this is why the West is in trouble. You cut yourselves off. You thought you were hurting everybody else by trying to keep them in their place and cutting them off, and you really cut yourself off. Sanctioning them to death, all of these countries suffering at your hands for decades, and now you're suffering because of your sanctions. See how the sword cuts both ways? There's a reverse side to every shield. Now let's move on here. All right. This article here is from cryptobriefing.com, and it's titled Vitalik Buterin outlines stealth address possibilities on Ethereum. He does have some good ideas from time to time. This is one of them. We can agree to disagree, and I can still give you respect. You can still give me respect. It says here, Vitalik Buterin outlined in a recent blog post how Ethereum stealth addresses could help network users further protect their privacy. Stealth addresses give the same privacy properties as generating a fresh address for each transaction. That's interesting. But without requiring any interaction, he stated. Stealth addresses could finally unlock privacy for transactions involving POAPSs, NFTs, and ENS domains. So this is an interesting idea. Keep going with that, Vitalik. I would like to see how that works out. It says Vitalik is looking into how to increase privacy on Ethereum. The Ethereum creator outlined. I also respect some of the boldness of Vitalik. So he does some very bold things at times. It takes some chances. I like that. I do. Vitalik Buterin is looking into how to increase privacy on Ethereum. The Ethereum creator outlined in a new blog blog post a tool that could, okay, so they're reiterating what they said at the top. I never understand why writers do that. They say it at the top in a paragraph, then they come down and they reiterate it in the first paragraph of the new section. I don't know, it's a strange thing. Buterin stated that the scheme would allow, why would you phrase it like that? Let's not put negativity on this. This is good. That the scheme would allow for a greater number of digital assets to be transferred from one user to another in a privacy-focused manner. Okay, so that's very good. This is interesting. So, you know, we'll keep on top of this. I hope that they go forward with this. Now, let's move on to another article here. I'm trying to get through all the articles today. Some days I don't. All right, so I'm going to skip that article. It was titled "Suspicious Transactions on Centralized Exchanges." So they're looking at certain things going on different exchanges as though there may be a setup of rug pulls happening, and it definitely looked like that. I might as well read the article now at this point. So it's titled "Suspicious Transactions on Centralized Exchanges." Crypto Reporter. Let's take a look at this. This is why you got to be careful. Be careful. It says there is suspicion of foul play among some newly listed tokens in the blockchain industry. Protect your value at all times, everyone. I can't tell you what to do, but hey, I would protect my value at all times. A trend has been observed suggesting a conspiracy or negligence involving some stakeholders in the cryptocurrency industry. Initial reports from a popular crypto journalist, Collins Wu, revealed that an anonymous wallet has bought 6,193 RPL 10 minutes before Binance released the RPL listing announcement. Interesting. And sold them all 10 minutes after the announcement. We'll just stop right there and you can make up your own mind about that, right? Making a profit of $55,400 US. Hey, be careful out there. This is a dangerous time. Protect yourself at all times like it's a fight. This article here is from bncrypto.com, right? And it's titled "Quant Price Slides Despite Bullish Crypto Market." And no one who actually knows the potential of Quant cares at all. Quant is trading inside an ascending parallel channel. Quant has a partnership with Sia Chain and Sia Partners. Let me drop that in there. That's a catalyst. That's a major catalyst. Quant is working with LAC Chain. That's a major catalyst. Quant has been sitting down with myriad of banks. They're on the Digital Pound Foundation. They're on the Digital Euro Association. That's major catalyst. And that's stuff that you should keep up with in conjunction with the charts. All right. Need both. That's what I would say. Utilize both. Not all information is good information, but you want to have as much good information as possible to make the best possible decisions for yourself. Says here, there is resistance at $145 and $177. Listen, when the time is right. This is, and I almost feel like Quant, just my humble opinion. This is not financial advice. That doesn't mean for you to go out and buy some Quant. It doesn't matter to me whether you buy or sell Quant at all, okay? All right, be careful out there. Do what's best for you. But in my humble opinion, this is too easy. This is going to be so easy. When a real bull run hits, Quant's price is going to fly. All the utility, all the partnerships, and if and when that utility kicks in, you do know Quant is used. QNT is used for everything on that blockchain. Everything. And what was the other all-time high? Like $400, something like that, north of 400, something like that. I don't know. It was a high price. We're still at, what's Quant price right now? I don't know. Let's see. Let's type that in for a moment. Bear with me. What is Quant's QNT current price? Let's see what they say here. Quant's price today is $147. Let's see. What is Quant's QNT's all-time high price, right? So we're at $147 is what they're saying. All-time price. Bear with me for one moment, please. See, hold on, bear with me. QNT all-time high. I don't know why Google doesn't give me the information I want sometimes. No, then it says here, the all-time price of Quant is $427.47 September 11th, 2021. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. So we're not worried. It will fly past that. That was back then before we had all these partnerships. Can you imagine where it's going to go now that we do have the partnerships? I think Quant's going to do a good job. In my humble opinion, I think it's going to fly. And like I said, I firmly believe in the future, it's $1,000 coin easily, like very easily, very easy. Look at the circulating supply. It's lower than Bitcoin's with massive utility. Make up your own mind. You make up your own mind. So now let's move on to here. So we're going to close out with a little bit of gold news, because gold makes us happy and it's been doing a good job. Keep doing good gold, but the price is going to explode at some point, in my humble opinion. There's all the catalysts are there. The world economies are doing horrible. They just hit the debt ceiling. Inflation is just raging everywhere. And people are at some point, if things get a little bit worse, if we do have a financial crisis, it looks like it's already beginning around globally, okay? People are going to retreat to gold. That price is going to go up, in my humble opinion. So now it says here, gold price forecast, gold markets continue to consolidate at extreme highs. Oh, look at that gold bar. I love looking at gold. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just beautiful. Anyway, let's scroll down here and see what they are talking about. Gold market technical analysis. Gold markets have gone back and forth during the course of the trading session, as we are quite drastically overdone. Here, at this point, the market, especially if you're in the members only section, you see any of my posts, you could just talk to me about regular things if you want to. It's up to you. At this point, the market looks as if it's probably either trying to grind away some of the excess broth or perhaps set up a nice pullback that people will look at as value. I will not be a seller of gold anytime soon. Neither would I. Neither will I. I would not be a seller of gold anytime soon because, quite frankly, this is a very strong trend. However, nothing goes straight up in the air forever. So I do think you need to look at this as a market that is a little overdone in short term. I agree with that. I can fully agree with that. Ultimately, I do think that the gold market goes to the $2,000 level, but we have a long way to go before we get there. So ultimately, I would like the idea of finding value at lower levels. And I do think that you will get the opportunity if you are patient enough. Quite frankly, this has been an extraordinarily parabolic run, which is not giving people an opportunity to get involved. It's going to go down. People are going, listen, well, we have to stay abreast and privy of what's going on in the economies, obviously. But if crypto keeps looking green, I believe that people will want to play. There's a lot of people who have retreated from crypto to gold to protect their value, and gold has gone up a little bit. I think they could scrape a little bit off the top, take a little bit of profit, and then they'll have something to play with. People treat gold just like they do stable coins. So they protect their value, hold their value in gold or stable coins, and then when the crypto market looks good, and I'm just speaking on crypto specifically, I do think it may go down a little bit. I think a lot of things are going to go down a little bit, but we'll stay on top of it. However, I will say, unless you're new, I don't know how a few weeks back when gold was doing well a few weeks back, actually, but when it was at a low, I don't know why people wouldn't get in then. And we were covering on the channel. We were telling people, hey, this is at a low, check the gold charts. And it's best to get in at a low before the markets start going back up again. So I don't know why you wouldn't have gotten in at that time, in my humble opinion. But yes, I do believe in the future time, I do see some turbulence happening, but I think in future time, gold's price can explode. Doesn't mean it will, but I believe that it can, be given all the different economic catalysts, all right? So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.